Remember by Langston Hughes, 1901 to 1967. Remember the days of bondage, and remembering, do not stand still. Go to the highest hill and look down upon the town where you are yet a slave. Look down upon any town in Carolina, or any town in Maine for that matter, or Africa, your homeland, and you will see what I mean for you to see. The white hand, the thieving hand. The white face, the lying face, the white power, the unscrupulous power that makes you the hungry, wretched thing you are today. Okay, this is a poem by Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes came from Missouri. He was a social activist. He was a campaigner for equal rights for black Americans. He was a poet, and he was a member of the Harlem Renaissance, a group of artists and poets and intellectuals from Harlem in the 1920s and 1930s. And this was the first time that black people had been recognized as having abilities to do things. Let's see. He is known as the innovator of jazz poetry, a form of poetry that sounds very improvised. But he's best known as a leading member of the Harlem Renaissance. He went to Columbia University in New York, but he dropped out. But later he graduated from Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. So what is this about? Well, I think this is a poem saying, remember what happened, or remember where we've come from, and but still be angry. Still be angry that yes, things were much worse. But still there are a million reasons to be angry, because there is such racial prejudice that still exists. Racial prejudice is part of the status quo, and this is something that needs to change, and this is something to be angry about. This is something that we need to change. We need to cause this to change. And don't forget, yes, we have come a long way, but there is still a long way to go. And I would say this is still true today, that there is a lot more equality in the world for black people. However, there is still racial prejudice everywhere. So remember the days of bondage. So remember when we were slaves. Remember before the American Civil War, where we were slaves. And remembering, do not stand still. So remember, yes, things were much worse, but don't stand still. We've got to continue to improve. We've got to continue to climb the stair. We've got to continue to improve. Don't just accept that, yes, we are no longer slaves, but we are still treated as slaves. The legal title of slave has disappeared, but in many ways we are still slaves. Go to the highest hill and look down upon the town where you are yet a slave. So look at your town, think about your town, and realize that you are still a slave within society, that black people have all of the menial jobs, that the opportunities for black people are very restricted. that black people are not considered to be as good. They do not have the opportunities, and they are the jobs and the position for black people is still the position of slaves. Yes, they may pay money, but the system keeps you as a slave. Look down on any town in Carolina, or any town in Maine for that matter, or Africa, your homeland, and you will see what I mean for you to see. So look at a town in North or South Carolina. This is what used to be the South. This is the antebellum South before the Civil War, where still black people are treated very badly. There's a lot of segregation. There you have to sit at the back of the bus. This is pre-Martin Luther King. Or any town in Maine for that matter. So Maine is in the north, and Maine was part of the Union that beat the Confederates. So Maine was part of the side that fought for freedom, the freedom of the slaves, where things are not as bad, or were not as bad as they are in the South. But it doesn't matter. In Carolina or in Maine or even in Africa where you come from, there is still a lot of inequality. We are still treated as slaves, that the opportunities are not there for us. We do not have equality. There continues to be racial prejudice. And you will see what I mean for you to see. And if you look at it, you will see why black people are still slaves. The white hand, the thieving hand. So the white hand, the hand of the white man, is stealing from us, is stealing our opportunity, is stealing our energy, is stealing our ideas. The white face, the lying face. So the white people are still lying to us. The white power, the unscrupulous power. So the status quo is still ruled by white people, that black people are still ruled by the white man, and this power is unscrupulous, that makes you the hungry, wretched thing you are today. So the racial prejudice, the system continues to make you a slave. It leaves you hungry, it leaves you wretched. And maybe not as wretched as you were 100 years ago, but still there is a lot more to do, and the position of the black man in America is not the position it should be. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Remember, by Langston Hughes, 1901 to 1967.